your relationship with Fincher as well. I mean, again, creatives are going to attract other creators. For you, when did you guys start nerding out about amazing, fun stuff?
There was a friend of mine who was at Xbox who gave us. We did the Xbox.
I remember
that? Yeah. Boy, I fucking love that thing. But
it's
Seamus
your style. Sorry to say it, but like, that Xbox thing is so your thing.
Yeah, it was great. But Seamus Blackley hired us to do that because he said, "Hey, we're launching this thing called the Xbox in 3 weeks, and Bill Gates is going to give a keynote, and we need something cool to play behind him." I heard you were you guys were the Navy SEALs at Studio Max. What can you do? And we'd been building. Jeremy Cook actually had built that robot, and Aaron Powell had modeled that woman for. We had optioned a book of Joe Haldeman's called Mind Bridge, and we were doing some tests. Anyway, but I said, hey, we can repurpose them, and we did that thing that was Raven and Rex. But anyway, Seamus Blackley left Xbox, went to CAA, and was in charge of their game division. And I don't know why. I don't know if I think Fincher approached them because he was at CAA at the time, but he wanted to do a game about what would happen if a 12.0 earthquake hit Los Angeles. I think you were a FedEx guy caught in a elevator, and you had to make it out, and you could choose to help people or not or whatever. And so I think he pitched this idea to CAA, and they said, well, you should do a proof of concept piece, and the people who are best at that is Blur. And so he came down and we met, and we just hit it off. He liked the vibe of the studio. He liked the very artist-centric way we ran it. It's not, you're not meeting with people in suits. It's just me with no shoes. You worked with us at that studio. It was
589 Venice?
Yeah, the Avid Kinney. We're Vices. I love that studio. And so anyway, we just hit it off, and he said, what do you want to do? And I said, well, I got this movie at Fox that I'd really like to do. And, and some other stuff, which was Rockfish. And so he tried to help me with that, but Fox didn't really want him to help me. They said, Tim, no, we don't need David involved in this project. We really think that you're a great filmmaker and you're going to make a great film. And we don't need David. And I said, really? Because nobody will return my phone calls. So I don't believe that you think I'm a great filmmaker. Even I don't believe I'm a great filmmaker. And who wouldn't want David Fincher as and it was free. He was offering to do it for free because he's a good guy. But anyway, he said, what else? He was, fuck it. What else you want to do? And I had like 11 different projects that I thought would be cool. And one of them was heavy metal. And I was friends with Kevin Eastman. I wanted to do it. And he's like, fuck, heavy metal. I love that. I love the animated movie. Let's do that because that'll give us a venue, a forum to explore anything. And so we started trying to do heavy metal. Kevin Eastman and I had been trying to pitch heavy metal war games, which was to take a bunch of different game IP and do an anthology set in the world of those different games, Blood Rain, Warhammer, and how cool would that be? But nobody would buy it. But for heavy metal, we went around and pitched it, and Jim Cameron was going to do one, and Zack Snyder was going to do one, and Fincher was going to direct one. It would have been amazing.
No one wants to do an R-rated, comic or animated series, of course, but now it's all the rage, obviously.
Yeah, well, we were a little ahead of our time, but
right.
It would have been cool. Some of the stories that we developed for heavy metal have been in Love, Death, and Robots, like Snow in the Desert that Unit did. That might show
friends
up.
with the Unit guys. Whenever I'm in Paris, always hang out.
They're pretty amazing.
And I want to dive into Love, Death, and Robots in a minute because again, like I love that that's a thing because it's such a collaborative thing. For anyone who's not aware of Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird, those names became kind of engraved in my brain from probably 8 years old or something because of Ninja Turtles, obviously. So yeah, it's amazing how many IPs that Eastman's touched that are pretty epic.
He's a great guy, Kevin. One of my favorite people. I did the greatest presentation of my career for that show. I mean, I don't.
I love it.
But yeah, Kevin was a great dude, and it's one of the sad moments in my life that I couldn't get Heavy Metal done because it would have meant a lot to him. But anyway, we couldn't. And even with all of those people attached and a $50 million budget, nobody would touch it.
It's crazy. And again, you know, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but like obviously Deadpool, you know, just projects like that kind of just prove that you can be wrong about your assumptions around, oh, well, something's not bankable because it's got a certain rating or a certain genre. It's just like, no, like there's a fan base for everyone. You just got to get it in front of the right people instead of looking at the wrong test audience as being the presumption, you know?
William Goldman, nobody knows anything. I mean, there were like 5 jokes that Fox wanted me to cut out of the Deadpool script the first time we pitched it because they weren't funny or they didn't work or they were over the line. And every one of those jokes were in the trailer that we showed at Comic-Con that, you know, brought the house down. And it does just, it is a nice bit of validation to feel like, yeah, I thought that would work, and it did. I'm sure there's lots of other things that I've been prevented from doing that I thought were great that would fail, that would have failed had I been allowed, but I thought that was great. I mean, my Terminator movie, I thought I was gonna do. I thought it would. I'm like, hey, if I make a great movie, people will come see it. But I don't know that I made a great movie, but I'm very proud of my movie, and I thought it was good.